the Wham newspaper pages. The Dick Kupke, I was just talking to him about whether his article is going to be in Current this month or not. I guarantee you it will be, and one way or the other. And there's the other contributors that we have all these great contributors that Julian on the music scene, and then the Keist on the gardening. I mean, it's really good stuff that you can take advantage of, and you can go back in the archives. There's the Social Security articles that are in there. You can go back and check all that information that's there at currentonline.com, and it's all free. I don't charge a penny for it. So you can contribute by supporting the advertisers. Specialty Growers is one of them. Diggett Services is another. Mike Kuzma, man, he's a great guy. He's got an excavation service. He's got a mini excavator. He's got skid steers. He's got the stuff to do the landscaping job you need, the digging, the septic field, getting a foundation up, pulling a stump out. I mean, this guy can do it for you. He can dig it. Dig it? So call Mike Kuzma at Diggett Services. That's 248-789-7619. Once more, that's 248-789-7619. And we're back with Alex Wassell doing the bulk of the show.
Good to be back.
Yeah, so we're talking about the Civil War, in case you weren't paying attention, or, you're like me, you have short-term memory loss. And so one of the ways of trying to fight the battle is to demonize the enemy. Okay, so you can demonize them, call them the bad guys, unredeemable. What did Hillary call us?
Deplorable.
Deplorables, yes. We're in that basket. And that's just the start of it. That's just the start of it. Now, on Saturday today, in the Daily Drift, there's a link to Joe Scarborough, Trump using rhetoric out of Hitler's playbook, openly bigoted against anyone not white and rich. Now, you have got to be kidding me. It's just like, which Trump is he speaking of?
Is he speaking about the Trump that has produced record low levels of unemployment in the black community?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it the Trump that's helped out West Virginia coal miners?
Yeah, or silk, diamond and silk. Right.
It's amazing they make these claims, but the bigger the lie, and the many times they repeat it, that's right out of a Nazi Hitler's playbook. It's not out of Trump's.
Now, Tucker Carlson played something that Donnie Deutsch said about Trump supporters. And Derek, if you would play the Deutsch Trump supporters or Nazis track, please.
Let them in or they will kill you. Excellent argument. Also on MSNBC, commentator Donnie Deutsch declared that every Trump voter, every single one of them, all 63 million, is a Nazi. Watch.
We can no longer say Trump's the bad guy. If you vote for Trump, you're the bad guy. Mm-hmm. If you vote for Trump, you are ripping children from parents' arms. If you vote for Trump, then you, the voter, you, not Donald Trump, are standing at the border like Nazis, going, you here, you here.
So where is this going? You know exactly where it's going. If you really believed Nazis were taking over your country, what wouldn't you do to them? You would fight them. You'd have a moral obligation to. Anyone who tells you your political opponents in this country, American citizens, are Nazis, is pushing us toward violence, obviously.
There's a concept called, I think it's, one is reaction formation, but I don't think that's the one I'm thinking of. It's when you put your views onto somebody else. And I've used a term on the radio today, and it starts with a P, and I can't remember whatsoever. But basically, where you are putting how you believe. Like when you say everybody's a thief, everybody's a liar. Basically it tells me about you. Yep, you're a thief, you're a liar. I'm watching out for you.
I think the term is lying.
Yeah, that's true. So basically, when these guys call us Nazis, I believe it's because of the National Socialist Party.
It's the National Socialist Workers' Party.
Yeah. Oh, well, there too. Yeah, exactly. And so, let's see. That sounds like the Democratic National Socialist Workers' Party to me. So, yeah. These guys are putting their own self-image on us. Projection. That's the word.
Right.
They're projecting it on us. And, I mean, really, like Tucker says, how far is that going to go? And this is a meme that's been carried over by a number of people. Like that was Donnie Deutsch, geez, big deal. Who is he? But he's a big shot with the Dems, with MSNBC. And then you've got, once again, as we pointed out in the Daily Drift today, Joe Scarborough, MSNBC, saying that, Trump is right out of Hitler's playbook. This is getting ridiculous because when they demonize us, what do they expect to happen? How far are they? Well, I didn't notice Trump was putting anybody in gas ovens yet. Have you? And nobody taught me how to do the salute properly either.
Right. No, they're lying about Trump supporters and patriots in this country. What we want is a good lifestyle for everybody, for all the citizens of this country. Now, if you're not a citizen of this country, then you're going to have to come here legally, not illegally. Yeah, and what the Dems want is they've gone through their voting bases. They've alienated workers. Now they're alienating the black community. So they're running out of people to vote for them. So what they're getting now is, well, we got to import more. So that's what this latest quote unquote immigration scandal is all about. If they voted Republican, I guarantee you they would be laying the bricks for the wall right now.
Well, you know what? Let's go back to immigration. Derek, would you play this the Cruz catch and release audio, please? This is Ted Cruz speaking.
I believe we can do two things at once. We can detain those who are here illegally and enforce the law, and we can simultaneously keep families together. All of us are horrified at the images we're seeing. We're seeing little boys, little girls pulled away from their mothers and fathers. A number of us have been talking about this issue for a long time. This is not a new issue. Back in 2013, 2014, I visited detention camps in my home state of Texas that the Obama administration had set up to house children, to house little girls and little boys who had come here illegally. It is one of the real tragedies of illegal immigration that kids are often the greatest victims. We can stop this. So the legislation that I'm filing this week would prohibit separating families, would mandate that kids should stay with their parents. Now, a number of congressional Democrats have a proposal to do that as well, but the Democrats' proposal, the way they want to do this, is return to catch and release. Their solution is whenever anyone is apprehended, just release them. Well, that's true. It keeps the families together, but it doesn't enforce our immigration laws, and even more importantly, it incentivizes more illegal immigration.
And that's exactly what they're trying to do, is they want to incentivize more people coming in. This is why they want look, Trump has been proposing, and the Republicans have been proposing laws last week, in fact, and if they don't include citizenship, the Dems will not sign on. So it's not about, whether it's mistreatment. It's not about whether it's any kind of horrible experience that these kids are facing. No, it's, are they going to be Democratic voters or not? Voter replacement. My friend Jay Poplar just texted me about that. And that's one of the issues we were talking about last half hour. If you can't take over the government one way, if you can't take over the Capitol one way, then replace the voters or outnumber them. Swell your own party's ranks by bringing more people in. Now, if you remember, the Democrats, going back to the Revolutionary War, the Democrats were trying to keep the voter base down by doing the 3/5 law. Remember they said
something like that. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Basically, they said, slaves.
Well, that was representation.
That was representation, but it's still representation in Congress.
Right.
So if you say, well, they don't count as people, except they count as a portion. And this was Democrats, folks, Democrats that were trying to hold down the influence of non-slave holding people's sway in the government, because this battle was going on right from the beginning, as Gary was saying. So one way is, how do you represent the people? In Congress, And you do that through these census laws, where if you don't declare whether or not a person who's being counted in the census is a citizen or not, then all of a sudden representation for a district becomes enhanced, especially if it's a Democratic district. Now, all of a sudden, there are more districts that are being represented by probably even by illegal voters, but the people don't even have to vote. It's just that state.
The census, yeah.
California gets more representatives in Congress because all these illegal immigrants
are counted.
And we're being robbed. I think Gruber was talking about this a week or two ago. He was actually had firm numbers on this, like how Michigan is getting cheated. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's so unfair for people to bypass our immigration laws. It's a slap in the face of everyone who came here legally, from my grandparents to current legal immigrants. I mean, if you stand in line, you do the process, you do everything that's necessary, you wait your turn, and somebody jumps in front of your line, the line in front of you, because they illegally cross a border. That is wrong. That's bypassing the rules of this country, and all that is anarchy.
You're in line at the bank, and somebody cuts in front of you. What do?
I complain loudly.
Yeah, you complain loudly. You may even threaten them. Hey, stop it, get out of here, unless they're much bigger than you. In which case you say, sir, I think I was here first. But the point is that when this happens the way it's happening now with our immigration system, you don't even see the guy that cut in front of you. You can't complain to him and say, hey, clown, get out of my way. I was here first. You can't. You have no recourse except through voting. And you don't get to vote yet.
Right. Also, a lot of the immigration laws and the things that Trump are trying to propose to secure our border are being thwarted by, like, the 9th District Court. So,
Ninth Circus Court. Yeah.
Circuit Court. Okay, sorry, Circuit Court.
Circus.
But the idea is it's still a slap in the face of the voters, the citizens of our country, when our tax dollars are used for non-citizens, we all lose. If the poor districts, and we'll say West Virginia or Indiana or even Michigan, they lose access to those funds that they could build better roads, improve their schools, their water systems, all that stuff.
Their congressional power is diluted.
Right.
Yep.
Same thing if you're a taxpayer in a school district. Guess what? You're paying for the illegal alien students' education too. That money could have been put into your students. Your friends, your family, your own kids, and we could be a better country for it.
Well, let's see what Ken from Livonia has to say about this. Derek, please. Thank you.
I just want to make a quick comment. You're talking about the Civil War. And the perspective that I have, and I've learned this from my Bible studies, I've learned this from the church, and that is our perspective is that there is supposed to be a civil war, an earthly war that'll rage between the Christians and the non-believers until the end of the earthly time. And this is a war led by the devil and his followers, and that ultimately, as far as the earthly war goes, we are destined to lose. But we Christians have already won the war over life and death. That we Christians, through faith in Christ, shall be saved. And see, this is why I'm not a Protestant or a Roman Catholic, and that is I understand that God has told me, yes, there will be a war. Yes, you Christians will lose the earthly war. Yet, I look at the Protestants and the Catholics, and they have this idea that we are supposed to win, contrary to Scripture, the earthly war.
See, I take a little bit of issue with that. I understand that the end time battle, that's the Antichrist is going to come up and he's going to establish this worldwide kingdom. But we have to look historically. Christians have done a lot, have taken a lot, and for instance, our forefathers, if not Christians, they were certainly Christian influenced. Like a lot of people in the conservative movement today. They're not necessarily Christians, but they're